Welcome to the British History Podcast wrap-up show. I'm Benjo.
I'm Brandon.
And as always, this is Season 1, Episode 15, Hadrian's Wall.
What do you know about Hadrian's Wall?
It's a wall.
Yeah.
And is owned by named after Hadrian.
Yeah. We're going to talk all about that. We're going to fill in the details on that today. But what's going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Just came back from a rescue football game.
Yeah. Win. Titans.
Hashtag best team in the nation.
Best middle school team in the nation? Did you just hear it? A claim from this guy right here?
You heard it.
Wow. I like it. Y'all are playing good football.
Thank you.
Yeah. Got a
starting center.
Yeah. Number 72 right here.
I can say I touch the ball every single play.
Yeah, you know what I was telling them is I secretly hope you snap it, your quarterback gets it, runs up, fumbles it, then you pick it up and run it in for a touchdown. We talked about that earlier. Like, I don't want him to fumble, but if he does, I want.
You know what?
Or could you? But look,
there was one play where when I was long snapping on the punt, and after I snapped it, I stood up for like a second or two, and if I think I ran directly after I snapped it, I could have hit the punt returner right after and possibly made him fumble and return it for a touchdown.
How far would you have taken it? Like 60 yards to the house?
No, it was like 20 yards.
Oh, okay. Still, that's a big deal. Yeah. That would be awesome. I mean, I hope that happens. Yeah. So a lot going on right now. We got to mention it. We got one of our best friends was murdered. He's got his murder trial starts tomorrow, and it's going to be covered on Court TV. So we're I gave Benjo a hug earlier, and we're praying for justice for Davis.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get to it, Benjo.
Yeah.
So Hadrian's Wall, as a bit of background. Actually, let me start it off. He starts off talking about pronunciations of places, and I'm constantly curious how he knows how these things are pronounced. Because a lot of times he's got to only be seeing these words on paper. There's no way he's hearing all this. Anyway, I just that always he's very confident.
He is.
You've heard it.
I've heard it. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, background. The Romans are in northern Britain. The Romans had become content with holding the empire rather than expanding it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't trying to expand anymore. So northern Britain, around current day Scotland generally, we've got Hadrian's Wall. So Hadrian, let's talk about kind of what led him to build this wall, Benjo. These, again, they weren't expanding, but the northern Britons were getting aggressive. So Hadrian had this idea. Okay, let's not fight any further. Yeah. Let's just protect what we have. All right, and it was a bit of a change because a lot of Roman emperors were always expanding. One thing about Hadrian, he had a hipster beard. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
That's interesting.
Did you see that coming?
That took an unexpected turn. No, I didn't.
Yeah. LOL.
LOL.
Yeah. Hadrian also appears to have been gay. He began his rule putting down a rebellion in the east, like Greek area, I guess. And then he traveled the empire extensively. He was a good administrator. He improved morale by living in the same conditions as his soldiers and to fixing issues, right?
Yeah.
So he also instilled protections for slaves. But anyway, the reason he got to Britain was because of a major rebellion by the Northern Britons between the years 119 and 122. Okay, So Benja, and I meant to mention this earlier. I have realized I've gone back. I realized in all my life, I always realized I am long-winded. I get better and better. When I was on the campaign trail running for mayor, I would give the longest. I probably bored people with these speeches. I mean, people were generally kind about it, but I had to have been boring them. And I realized that the best way is get to the point. So our meant to announce this as an announcement for all our hardcore fans out there. You, you know,
Yeah.
right? They hound you constantly.
I mean, it's gotten a little excessive.
Right.
Like email after email every single second of the day. It feels like.
Right. But I want to announce that I'm gonna be more brief. So I've highlighted the relevant portions rather than us ramble on because I feel like you'll take it in better that way. Anyway, get to it. Back to the story. So remember remember the theory. What was last episode? Do you remember the name of last episode?
It was episode 14.
Yeah.
Because this is episode 14. It was that
No, the mystery of the Ninth Legion.
The mystery of the Ninth Legion.
You remember? And what was that about?
That was about the Ninth Legion and it was a Second Legion maybe too. They went missing, and we were tossing around theories on how they went missing.
And what did you decide upon?
I decided that what did I decide on? I decided that they battled themselves and everybody died.
Were you being goofy with that?
I was being
Battled themselves?
And everybody died. And maybe not everybody died. There were a few people left, but ultimately they killed each other, and then they died out of starvation.
I do remember you saying that. That's a goofy theory. No offense. No offense.
I think it's a great theory.
Do you take any offense by me saying that's a goofy?
I take so many.
Well, here's what I believe happened. I believe that the Ninth Legion was routed by a
Fifth Legion. That was the other Legion.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I believe that the Ninth Legion that Northern British soldiers killed them all, almost all of them. There were some that escaped to tell the story, but I believe that that Hadrian's Wall was a direct response to that. What do you say to my theory?
I like it, but you gotta remember there was also another legion in there too. So you think they also killed that other legion?
No, I think there's an explanation for the other legion also, but I can't remember what that is. Anyway, Benja, let's talk about this wall.
Yeah.
So this wall took a lot of people to build. Okay, this was not an. This was
like as big as the Great Wall of China.
Good question. No, but
is it still up? Is it still like
yes
a wall today?
In many parts, yes, yes. So anyway, it stretches from one coast to one coast, right?
Yeah.
Up in north, it's from Newcastle upon Tyne to the west of Bonus on Solway, I think is what he said. Anyway, the eastern portion. Where's the east?
Well, if we're looking for a fan's point of view,
right,
in this way.
That's correct. Good. Well done. The eastern portion is 41 miles long. It's limestone. I'm going to give a lot of statistics here, okay? Limestone with clay mortar.
Is that a type of rock?
Yep.
Yeah, because I learned about that. I think that's granite. That's a type of granite.
Oh,
rock.
Okay. I hear you. Dropping some knowledge on me. Yeah, I hear you.
I learned about the rock cycle last year in science.
Yeah? Kind of a big deal. But the clay mortar, all this stuff, the limestone was covered in plaster in places. It was originally, they originally had it designed to have a 10-foot base and be 15 feet high. The western portion, 29 miles long, was different. So where's that for our viewers? Yeah, there's the western portion. It was made.
Wait. This is still northern. This is still south.
That's right. That doesn't change. Wow.
Mind boggle.
Mind boggle. It was built out of turf blocks originally.
Like like turf?
I think so. I don't know. I didn't
That's
I
interesting.
didn't check my favorite source, which is
Wikipedia.
yeah, that's right. It was originally intended to be 20, have a 20-foot base and 15 feet high. We don't know much about it because the stone structure held up much better than the turf, like to
Wait,
this
so
day.
how much was it 20 feet whatever and 15 feet high, or was it not?
Yeah, yeah, but we don't know as much as we know about the stone portions of it. And in the front was a ditch with a flat bottom that was about 20 feet wide, and there was like another little turf wall, and then the ditch um, in front, the ditch facing the northern Britons, because those are the ones they were
Yeah.
worried about, facing the north. The ditch stretching from coast to coast,
Wow. That's
what was built at a 30-foot, 30-degree angle.
that's man.
They
That's
called them
nice.
ankle breakers because, like, if the northern Britons tried to charge on them, they would fall in this ditch and break their ankles and just be shot to death. Yeah, I mean, it was
That's
awful.
crazy. That's
I
insane.
mean, these were soldiers protecting this wall. Every
At
so
that point, it's like anything you can do to eliminate the enemy.
Right, but again, this wall was just for defense. It wasn't to go out. It was just for defense. And every mile there was a castle that housed 8 to 32 men, kind of cramped, right?
Yeah.
That's where the gates were. There were gates to
Yeah.
get from one side to the other, which would give you the indication that maybe there was even trade allowed, but you just couldn't come in and invade or attack, right? So anyway, um, there were also little uh, cottages in between every half mile, right? The second phase changed. The generally, I'd say
Yeah.
the biggest change was the width of the wall got smaller,
Mhm.
just because they were saving money. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Um, so the ditches on the south side of the wall, 20 feet wide.
And 10 feet deep.
Yep,
Wow.
they had a flat bottom.
That's crazy.
Um, and land was cleared on either side by about 40 feet. There were mounds. Um, sometimes this clearing area meandered kind of along the wall. Sometimes it
Yeah.
got really close to it. Um, and um, so they were also having some trouble with the Brigantes on the south side of the wall.
Yeah.
So um,
Like
so they were trying to just it wasn't
it
as
would be.
much as the north side, but a little bit on the south side
Mhm.
too. So and then of course like it was a military installation, so there were I mean it took all this manpower to build first,
Yeah.
and then you had to station it right. Um, so there were also forts off of there too, all along the way. But there was a wall and then forts, and he describes the size of the forts. Um, they also had ankle breaker ditches and
Yeah.
protection. Oh, and this is I highlighted this because I thought you would be interested in this. They talk about the latrines, the bathrooms, where they dipped a sponge in water, and you had your own sponge. You didn't have to share a sponge. But that's how you wiped your butt.
Well then, where'd you drop it?
I don't know. It must have been filthy. It must have been a
Oh
gnat. You know,
god,
I mean, if water's running
that's
through it,
that's disgusting to think about.
I mean, if water's stagnant, that's the most disgusting thing ever. At least if
Hmm.
there's a river, it's moving water.
Yeah.
Even then, it's gross. You know. Anyway, um, so I mean, these general forts in this whole area. They also served as like churches, um, banks,
Schools.
schools. Yeah. Um, the commander's house was nicer comparatively, and then the officer quarters were a little less nice. And then
Yeah.
if you were just a regular soldier, you lived in shitty conditions. And they it's in here somewhere. They wanted you to commit as a soldier to commit 25 years to service and not be with a girl.
Yeah. Oh,
Like it was, yeah, I know.
okay.
It was completely unrealistic. Nobody adhered
Why
to
did they
it,
want to do that?
and they built stuff
Well,
like
why didn't I'm confused.
I don't know. I think like I don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question. I don't know. But this wall is so long, Benjo, it crosses 3 rivers. Um, it took three legions. Remember how many people were in a legion?
Was it 15,000? Was it
5,000.
20? Okay.
Generally, but some of these legions got bigger apparently.
Yeah.
3.7 million tons of limestone. It was mostly built during the warmer months. 5 years. There were like, by my estimation, 30, a bunch of carts, bunch of material, a bunch of horses and oxen used to do all this stuff. Um, Soldiers to dig the ditches, build the wall, of course, It took 3 soldiers to dig in each spot. Like they had this whole thing under, like planned out. That's how, remember? Because the Romans were so
Smart.
smart and organized. Yeah. And then a road. They had a road on either side on the south side of the wall that connected all the forts because all these forts worked together.
Yeah.
Did you know I was getting there?
Yes.
You did. And of course they lived lives. They had to entertain themselves also. But anyway, Benjo. Um,
So they had to eat. They had to eat a lot of food grain.
right. Ate food grain. Yeah, I didn't highlight that because I remember my motto. What's my new motto?
Get to the point.
Yeah, get to the point.
Fruits and veggies. They ate fruits.
They ate fruits and veggies. Yeah, but I'm trying to make sure we stick to it.
Sorry, I saw that, so I had to.
But in some, like they were kind of aware that they were building a world wonder. I don't know if it's in one of the 7 world wonders.
I mean,
you know what source I would check for that?
Wikipedia.
That's right.
We could be building a world wonder right now, for all we know.
We could. What do you mean?
Just like America.
No. Like the ancient wonders of the world.
I know. I'm saying like things we build today could be in the future be known as.
Benjo, that's a great question. But that's a great question. But go visit the cathedrals in Europe. Go visit the pyramids.
I have. Well, I've
we don't. Even though we have advanced technology, we don't dedicate the what do you call it? Just the art of doing things rather than the convenience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
But having said that, I'm sure there are many things today that will be wonders one day.
Yeah.
Or at least
what would you say them
like a modern thing?
Like built in the last 100 years.
Oh well, I mean planes. I mean, yeah.
I mean, like one specific thing.
Let's see. This Statue of Liberty.
Is that built in the last 100 years?
No, it was before that. Mount Rushmore.
Was that built in the last?
Yes.
Like last 50 years.
Now
we're near
last like 80 years.
Well, okay.
Something 75, something like that. Anyway, Benjo, Hadrian's Wall. One day I would like to go visit Britain and go to Hadrian's Wall.
Yes.
Benjo, we're going to talk about another wall called the Antonine Wall. That's a little bit further up, but that is a story for another day. I enjoyed hosting this episode with you.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Keep rocking. Think about us while we're pulling for Davis this week. All right, till next time.
I've been Benjo.
I've been B.
And like always, thanks for watching.
Don't believe